Okay, so 2.4 dealt with multiplying rational numbers, and today 2.5 we're going to divide rational numbers. So 2 tricks to dividing fractions and decimals. Let's start with fractions. Remember, we have to use this thing called the reciprocal. So to write the reciprocal of a fraction, you just interchange or swap out the numerator and the denominator. The product of a number and its reciprocal is 1. That's the true definition of reciprocal. So 2/3 times its reciprocal of 3/2 equals 1. So fraction 2/3, if I just take my denominator, move it up to the numerator, and my numerator, and move it to the denominator, we get our reciprocal. Now, if you remember, there's really no way to divide fractions. Our trick is to multiply fractions. So since we're doing the opposite of the divide, we have to do the opposite of our second fraction, which is our reciprocal. So first we just need to practice writing reciprocals quickly. With just a simple fraction, pretty easy, 3/5 turns into 5/3. 5/3. There we go. The reciprocal of 6, anytime we have a whole number, it's as if the denominator is 1, because any number divided by 1 is itself. So to do the opposite of that, we have 1/6. Now, a little bit of a trick with a mixed number. We have to turn it into a fraction. So as we learned in 2.4, I call it circle math. We multiply our denominator times our whole number, and then we add our numerator. So it looks like 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, still over a denominator of 3, and now I can do the reciprocal of that. So that's 3, 7. So that's the trick to mixed numbers. So to divide, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So here's 2 examples. You guys can look through those. They changed 6 into the reciprocal. They're still reducing, if you can find a common factor. Here, they interchanged 9/10, reduced with common factors. Remember, if you don't see the common factor before you multiply across, then you just have to simplify at the end. Let's look at some examples. So 3/8 divided by 12. Remember, that's like 12 over 1. So let's do the reciprocal of that. 1/12. Let's reduce. 3 and 12 have a common factor of 3, so that's 1 and 4. I cannot reduce 8 and 4 because they're both in the denominator. Don't make that mistake. So now I can multiply across my numerators. 1 times 1 is 1, and 8 times 4 is 32, so 1/32. 4/3 divided by 16. That over a 1, just so it's easier to find my reciprocal of 1/16. Let's do some reducing. I have factors of 4. 1, 4, multiply across, 1, 12. If I could make that a little bit more obvious. Okay, moving on, 5/7 divided by 20/21. Interchange that into 21/20. This is one of those times where that's an improper fraction. We want it to be an improper fraction in order to deal with this. Let's reduce. Let's take a 5 out of both of those. That leaves me with 1 and 4. A 7 out of both of those. That leaves me with a 1 and 3. I'm just left with 3/4. Okay. Negative divided by a positive is going to be a negative final answer. Let's get the reciprocal. Let's reduce. I know I'm moving fast. You guys can pause and go back and watch if you need to. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. Negative 2/3. Okay, moving on to decimals. Again, I can't divide by a part like a fraction, so I have to change my divisor into a whole number. So if I'm dividing by 0.7, I have to change that into a whole number. I'm going to move my decimal 1 place. Since I've moved my decimal in one of my numbers, I have to move it in both of my numbers. So I'm going to take that and move it 1 place. As soon as I move that decimal, I carry it up into my answer. So let's do an example of that. So here I've got 1.14 dividing by 0.6. I'm going to move that one place, which means I'm going to move it one place here, and I'm going to bring it up to my answer right away so I don't lose that decimal place. Now it's just a matter of doing quick division. 11 divided by 6. 6 goes into 11 one time. So I've got 54 left. 6 goes into 54 9 times. 1.9 is my final answer. One place. Bring it up into my answer right away. This worksheet doesn't leave a lot of room, so in your homework, please leave plenty of space. Skip lines, lots of lines. 3 goes into 4. Now hold on. I'm not just going to go 3 into 45 right away. I could, but 3 goes into 4 one time. That's 3, so it leaves me with 15. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15, and 3 goes into 6 2 times. So my final answer is 15.2. Could I go to a calculator and check this? Sure. Would it take more time? Yeah, your mental math is strong enough. You guys can do these in your head. What if I'm moving more than one place? Easy enough. I move it more than one place there and take it up to the top. I'm going to go ahead and move this over. So now I've got 712. My decimal place is at the end, divided by 2. So 2 goes into 7, 3, 6, 11. 2 goes into 11. 5 times 10, 12. 2 goes into 12. 6 times my final answer is simply 356. I go ahead here and put my decimal there in case I need to, add zeros and continue my decimal out. Okay, go ahead and try this one on your own. Pause the video. I'll write the answer in. $716. You guys have the next worksheet, skilled intervention. Please get that checked before moving on to your homework.